Hey, Allie, are you still not back home yet? I just got here and you're nowhere to be found.
Hello, Charlie. I'm still coming back home from work like always, and I'm making my stop at the supermarket, like always. Actually, it seems you're home a lot sooner than normal. What happened that allowed you to be home around 5?
I can come home anytime I want to.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, and that means the same applies to me. I'm doing what I'm always doing at this time of day and haven't done anything that should be making you upset with me.
What? I see. Then you hurry up with the groceries and get home to make me dinner. I'm starving right now and don't want to wait any longer.
Okay.
And the bath isn't even ready for me. How come the bath isn't ready for me?
When I get home from work, I usually take care of things like that, the way I've always been doing it. I normally get home a bit after 5, and you normally get home around 7.
And normally you should have all this stuff handled for me before I get home, like a good wife would do.
And since you've gotten home earlier than normal, that won't be possible. I also happen to have a job, and that means that any time before 5 p.m. won't work because I'm at work.
Jesus, I say one thing and you have some kind of comeback. I say another thing and then it's a different comeback. That right there is why both myself and Kylie hate you.
Now that you mention her, is Kylie back from college yet?
Huh? Her shoes were at the front of the house when I got back home, so I'm sure she's up in her room now.
I see. Well, thanks for telling me. Now I'm getting back to my shopping so that I can be home as soon as possible. Hey, Dad. Isn't it getting to be that time where we don't need that old woman here anymore?
What do you want now, Kylie?
It's been a year now since Grandma passed away, which means that in the next couple of months, I'm going to be heading to work for the first time ever. And, well, the company that I'm planning on working for is a ways away, so I was thinking of moving to a place closer to the office to live on my own.
Oh?
In other words, if you get rid of the old woman, then you can get married to that hot girlfriend of yours and have a wonderful later half of your life with her, right?
What? Hold on, you know about my girlfriend?
From time to time, I see her with you, so... And of course, as your daughter, I'm rooting for you to be with the woman you love most.
I see. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Old woman, you understand that today is the day I'm moving out and into my own apartment to start my new life alone, right? Good morning, Kylie. Of course I know about that. Is there anything you'd like me to help you out with right now? Are you kidding me? I don't want your filthy hands touching any of my things, so stay away from the house today. What? I don't want any of your help, and I hate the idea of you being around me while I leave, so stay out. Don't come home until later tonight. Is that right? It seems we've really raised one of the most helpless kids ever in this house. Huh? Perhaps this is what happens when we let you hang out with your abusive grandma all the time, who just had a blast making me feel unwanted. What the heck are you talking about? None of that makes any sense. I didn't expect you to understand what I was talking about there, so don't even worry about it. Since I can be out of the house all day today, I'll go and handle some of the things I've been needing to get to now. Then hurry up and get out of this house so I can get ready. Go away.
Hey, Allie, you understand that today is the day Kylie moves out of this house, right?
I know. I could tell from all the commotion I heard in her bedroom earlier this morning.
And as her mother, you didn't even bother to help her out with any of her packing? Instead, heading out the front door to leave her home all alone?
She told me herself that she didn't need my help and she didn't want me home to watch her leave the house, so she said I needed to stay out until later tonight. And that is why I left the house just then. Next time, please talk with her first before coming to me with your complaints.
So that's what happened there.
I was told this first thing in the morning, so I wasn't able to prepare any meals for you guys today.
Well, today's a special day anyway. I'll forgive you for not doing anything.
Is that so? Well, thank you so much for your forgiveness. Now, I have some errands that I'd like to finish up today myself, so I won't be able to talk until later tonight.
Is that right? Well, go ahead and do whatever you want.
I will. I'll make sure to do everything I want. Charlie. I'm almost home from my day out. And, well, I just walked by the trash down the road, and for some reason, a lot of my things were in it. Do you mind telling me why a lot of my things were just in that trash pile all the way down here by the dumpster? I noticed some larger things of mine were also in that pile, like my dresser and my nightstand. Tomorrow is not a day where they come around to collect larger trash items, you know.
You don't have to come back to this house anymore.
What?
What I'm saying is, I can't believe you hung around Kylie and me for the past 20 years when we both have hated your guts since the very start.
Ugh. I believe the reason that Kylie has always had a lot against me is because of the way you and your mother behaved towards me. Since you always had her going over to your parents' house, she was being raised by your harassing mother and was taught to treat me like the housemaid. She got to sit there and watch front seats as you and your mother would always trash talk about me while forcing me to do all the chores while working a full-time job, so of course she began to hate me the same way. I guess there was no helping this outcome, though, because I never did anything to stop it.
Stop running your annoying little mouth already. Kylie's gotten herself a job now and won't be around anymore, which means I have no use for a housemaid like you anymore. Get out of my life.
Understood, Charlie. I will gladly get out of your life.
I want you and the rest of your things out of here in 1 hour.
Oh, you don't have to give me an hour, Charlie. Most of my things have already been moved out of that house, so I don't need to really grab anything from there.
Huh?
To make this understandable for someone who lacks any wits like you, no, I'm not talking about how all of my things are in the trash now. I planned on moving, so I had made sure to send all the things I wanted to keep to my new place in advance, and left all the things I didn't care for in that house. I was doing that today while you were at work and Kylie was getting her things ready to go. Originally, I had planned to go back to that house to gather all the things I didn't need and take them to this dumpster. But you've already handled that for me and are even telling me to stay away now. So I'll stay away from there and start going to my new place of residence.
Yo, what the hell are you going on about?
I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to come out here and collect all those larger items like my dresser that cannot be thrown out tonight.
I'm asking you what the hell you're going on about. I get that I'm telling you to get out of my house right now, but what you're making things sound like is you've planned on leaving this house before I told you to.
Yes, that's because I've been planning to.
Huh?
Could you be surprised because you forgot something very important? About a year ago, after we had your mother's funeral and were on our way home from there, weren't you the one asking me to divorce you and saying that things between us had gone cold?
What?
But at the time, Kylie was still in college and hadn't found a company that wanted to hire her yet. We didn't want to cause any stress for her then by getting a divorce and having me move out of the house, so I recommend we just hold off on the divorce until after she graduated from school, right? And after listening to my suggestion, you agreed with me. Therefore, the plan was after Kylie graduated and was on her way to her first company job, I'd prepare for the divorce and leave the house.
Now that you mention it, that's right.
As for things like splitting the property and such in the divorce, I've made sure to get myself a lawyer to help us out.
What? You went and got yourself a lawyer already?
That's right. We've been married for 20 years now, right? Neither of us know about all the properties that we've shared for those past 20 years, and so I wanted a professional to help us out with all of that so that the transition was smooth and safe. I was recommended to do this by a friend of mine who also works in law, so we should trust doing what she's recommended to me.
This all sounds like a pain in the butt, but you've already asked for their help, right? The lawyers?
Yes, I have. I thought that since this would be a pain in the butt for the both of us, the best choice would be to get a lawyer.
I guess there's nothing I can do about that now. All right then, Allie. Hey, Allie! What the hell is this settlement about? You told me you only got that lawyer to help with our properties, right? Why am I being asked to pay you a settlement now?
And if you had taken a look at the papers and at all the evidence that's attached to them, you would understand why and not have to yell at me.
What evidence?
There's a document stating the procedures that were taken to prove that you've been cheating on me with another woman. And along with that document are some pieces of evidence proving what happened. I believe some pictures and a USB with audio recordings.
What the hell? You were having someone investigate me?
I sure was. And thanks to having our divorce wait for 1 year, I had enough time to get people together to go and get all that evidence for me and prepare the legal case that will get me that settlement.
What did you say?
So now that you're aware of what needs to happen next, you can get in touch with my lawyer again and have those talks. Also, we've been renting that house for the last 20 years now, which means by the end of next month, you need to be out of there so that the landlord can have it back and prepare for his next tenants.
Huh?
I can see that you haven't been preparing for anything and that this is all a major shock to you right now, but I'd put those emotions on hold so that you can get to work moving out of that house.
Wait! Why did you wait to tell me all of these really important things until right now?
What? I thought we talked about all of this a year ago after we had that talk about getting a divorce.
That's not what I'm talking about. Why have I not been told about this house when I've been the breadwinner here?
Excuse me? I thought that I had always been the one making the most money and handling all the payments.
Huh?
5 years ago, when your father first passed away, there was a lot of paperwork that had to be done for the place, like who would be in charge of the house and be considered the next tenant in it. Your mom, of course, didn't have any way of paying rent on the place since she'd never worked a day in her life. And you always complained about how you didn't want to do paperwork, and so you had me handle it all. You didn't even join me to co-sign the papers or anything, leaving me with one choice, and that was to become the sole renter of that house. Of course, I've been bringing in the most money as well, so it kind of made sense that I pay the rent. But that is what happened. So for the past 5 years now, I've been paying most of the rent on that house, as well as for utilities and such.
What?
Are you saying this whole time you never noticed anything about that?
Now that you've explained it all to me, I guess I've never seen any money being taken out of my accounts for rent.
Then there you go, Charlie. I've left that house and ended my rental agreement for the place, and the landlord isn't looking to make you the next renter. So it would be best that you move out of there as soon as possible so that the landlord has time to deep clean and everything else. Hold on, old woman. I just got off the phone with Dad. Hi. I had told him earlier today that he would have to pay a settlement to me for having been cheating, and that would have to come with the divorce. I don't mind that you guys got a divorce, but now he's having to lose his house? Is that something a mom like you should be allowing to happen? I don't have any children, though. Huh? So you're telling me that with the divorce you're also cutting ties to your one and only daughter? And as things have always been, from the very start, I've not been your real mother. What? What are you talking about? I thought you'd been told this long ago, and even if you don't remember that, you should have noticed by now. What? What do you mean by that? I would love for you to go and ask about all of this from your father, but your real mother, the one who birthed you, died when you were only 3 months old due to a severe illness. And then, 2 months after that happened, your father ended up marrying me since I had worked for him as his housemaid before. That happened only 2 months after my actual mom's death? Everyone knew that I was raised a foster child and had never been adopted by anyone, so I had no family. And when I was old enough to start working, I went into being a housemaid for the wealthy and was doing that for years and years. At one point, I even worked for your parents and was your mother's favorite maid up until she passed away. Your father was going to force me to leave, but knowing that I didn't have anywhere to go after that, he made a proposal, and that was to become his new wife. I had no other choice but to listen to him. He told me that as long as I became his wife, I could live in his house and not have to pay a dime to do so as long as I continued to do the chores. Are you kidding me? Wait, then does that mean there was real meaning behind why I'd been calling you old woman the whole time instead of mom? That's right. Your father and your grandparents knew that I wasn't your real mother and didn't want you referring to me as such, hence why they raised you to call me such a terrible thing. From the very start, I didn't want you to be raised in such a way that would turn you into not only a selfish little child, but a rude one as well. No way. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, just have a look at your birth certificate and you'll see what I'm talking about. My birth certificate? Well, your father and I have been divorced now, and in a few days here I'll be changing my phone number. So I think that after today, you and I won't be talking to one another ever again. Where will you be going then? I've been working for a newspaper company out in the next city over, so I've chosen to get an apartment close to there, where I've already moved into, actually. A newspaper company? They're located in a part of town from one of my favorite books, but of course you'd never be able to guess what book that is. I was always reading it, but you never cared enough about me to know what I read. Of course not. Have a good one now, Kylie. Okay. Dad, there's been a lot of very hard to understand things going on. Honestly, what the hell happened?
What?
I don't even know how to feel about all of this, and I don't know how to feel about you or Grandma. For some reason, it's like I don't even know any of you anymore.
Kylie?
Well, now that I think about it, I haven't told you where I've moved to yet, have I? I think this is where I call it quits with you, Dad.
Wait, what?
Bye-bye.
Kylie!
After having heard the story that I gave her and thinking about how she never really had a mother figure growing up besides her grandma, Kylie started to lose it and began to think she'd never even want to get married because it's too difficult for her to understand emotionally. She also chose to cut her father out of her life so that she could get a feeling of starting fresh with no family, just like I had growing up. Kylie ended up joining a company one of my old friends has become a part of, so for a bit I was hearing about how things were going there for Kylie. Because my friend noticed she had the same rare last name I had before the divorce. From what I'd been told, Kylie became this really gloomy girl in the workplace who never wanted to talk with anyone about anything and has often gone home early due to not feeling well. My old friend told me that she can keep me in the loop on what all happens later on with Kylie, but I told him that she's not my daughter. Since she never treated me like her mother, I don't have any attachment to her. Now, when it comes to what happened with Charlie, there's a lot. I heard all of this from a friend around that house I was living in with him, and she told me the woman he had cheated on me with ran from him after the settlement, and because of that, he became sort of a hermit. He began to lose control of everything going on around him, or rather it seemed like he was just stuck in this trance after having lost everything, and only snapped back to reality a day before he had to be out of that house. So in a panic, he decided to go and move into one of the company's apartment complexes in order to avoid becoming homeless. He grabbed everything that he could carry on him and in his car and left the place, leaving more than half of his things there, which would later be tossed by the landlord. That apartment complex he moved into was primarily for younger employees of the company who had just been hired and moved into the area. So a lot of rumors started to spread about why an old man like him was there. And after a few months of being picked on by all of them and being reminded of the joke he was for letting his wife and daughter get away, he quit his job. Right now, he's out on the streets looking for any kind of work possible while crying about the family he once had and would never be able to obtain again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.